How would life change for you if you knew that your worth and your lovableness could never be taken from you? And that the power switch for happiness was owned by you. You're the one that turns it on and off. What would you invite more of in your life? What would you allow yourself to do, to say, to explore? Because I think that we're holding back our aliveness because we think that something very, very valuable is at stake. We need to keep in line of the rules we've set up for ourselves. We can't be too much, we can't be unpolite, we cannot be lazy, let other people down, whatever the narrative is, because we think something valuable is at stake, our worth, our lovableness, our belonging. But I'd suggest that's not the case. But before we start arguing about that or try to decide whether that's true, because it's kind of irrelevant if it's objectively true, what's interesting is it true for you? And before we start exploring that, maybe also play around with or feel into, would that be interesting? Is it worth the exploration? The rewards we would find at the end of the rainbow, so to speak, if we knew how to make ourselves happy or where to go to find happiness. Is that worth it? I mean, for me it is. Because I think that the way that these core beliefs that was formed quite early in life of how we find happiness and how we make ourselves lovable, they control the rest of our lives. They decide which career path I do, how I show up in my relationships, how I spend my Saturdays and Sundays. It's all based on how I think I can earn love, how I can be happy. So it's not a small side project of exploring this topic. No, it is the essence of our life. And the closer we is to truth, the closer we is to actually knowing where all of these life's most yummy things are found, then we can spend the rest of our lives basking in that. Not living from this trying to find it somewhere where it will never be found, feeling like life is holding something back from us. Spending money on like this smoke mirror that actually doesn't really deliver. Yeah. And I would suggest that one of the core beliefs in our day and age that have gotten all of society and us we who grew up in it to misunderstand this is the belief in separation. The belief that we are all separate individuals locked up in this body. In other words, that it is such a given truth that my inner life is a result of this body being complex enough to create a nervous system, and then my inner life kind of pops up within that. So I'm completely separate from your inner life. And the world outside of my body is made of a different fabric. It's made of matter. It's made of solid things that has nothing to do with my dreams and desires and creative impulses, my memories. That makes it quite a lonely existence. That makes me separate from the rest of the world. It makes me separate from you. And if that's true, if that is the way the reality actually is, that we're all locked up into these little meat castles, well, then we have to deal with it. But if there's even a slightest opportunity that we got that wrong, That the suffering we feel as a result of feeling so isolated and alien, like our inner life is so alien as in unusual, because the rest of the world is solid and dense and not thinking, not able to relate to our inner lives. Oh, I lost the chain of thought here. So if it is that, if that's the truth, or if there's even a possibility that that isn't true, that there is another way to relate to the world that does not go against science, that is a rational, logical, sane way of looking at the world, that doesn't have those kind of headaches. It doesn't have those side effects of feeling suffering, then I would say it's worth exploring that. Because it impacts our whole lives. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about sharing non-duality. Because non-duality is, in short, it's like consciousness only model. It warps the whole world around. It warps the fact that our consciousness or our inner life isn't a result of a complex body. It is the first given. We are consciousness primarily, and then the body is a manifestation within consciousness. I have tons of videos on this, so if you're curious, then perhaps this playlist will be interesting. But this episode is not about convincing you or digging deeper in that. This is just about presenting the possibility that our society might have gotten it wrong, and we're all paying the price for that by chasing happiness and worth where it will never be found. Yes. And what a gift to give to the world. To let people find love and happiness and worth within themselves. To allow that to always be available. Any moment we just turn around and it's there, shining its light brightly, always giving, always holding us. Not only as a rational idea, no, that's like the, I don't know, that's the little icing on top or whatever, but to have that embodied, to have your nervous system fully on board on that the world can never take away my worth. The world is not the source of my happiness. I am. I am the source of my happiness. Always. On a Monday morning, on my wedding day. Well, I haven't had a wedding day, but presumably people are happy then. Yeah. Always radiating from the inside. Imagine that one belief can get us so off path, make us go lost and ripple through the rest of our life. And we have the power to change that, even though society reinforces separation, reinforces the belief that we live inside our own minds. Yes. Anyway, if you found this fascinating, I would love to share this journey, exploring what life is actually about, where we find these absolute most yummy things in life. So, welcome aboard, and I hope to see you next time. My name is Josephine, by the way, and, well, this is my passion.